So, good morning. I'm no longer board member of the Society Convention, but I have the privilege only because end of the budget was already taken. Okay, so I wear many hats. Today, I'm wearing that of a Twitter evangelist. Okay, can I have a show of hands? Who has a Twitter account? Okay, good. Are you tweeting CPM50? That's our hashtag for today. If you do not have a Twitter account, what are you waiting for? The 2014 Twitter penetration rate for the Philippines is 81%, second only to Facebook, which is 97%. What does that mean? If you are an internet user in the Philippines, 81% of the time are probably on Twitter. Since marami hindi nag-raise ng hands, yung remaining 19%, nandito yun. Okay? So HealthXPh is a Philippines-based speech chat that I co-founded with 3 other medical doctors. So we are, Bone Doc is also an alumnus of University College of Medicine, he's an orthopedic surgeon, Gia Season, and Dr. Tapia, or Cebu MD from Cebu. So this is a historic picture that was taken last February 20. It is historic because after working together for almost a year and a half, this is the first time we were together in one place to have a picture taken. Because HealthXPh was born online and we managed everything online. So I've divided the presentation into 3 parts. We'll start with an introduction to Twitter and Twitch chats. I'll define what a hashtag is and move on to the healthcare hashtag project. And finally, I will share with you what we have been doing so far at hashtag HealthXPh. This Twitch chat is now 15 months old. So, this is my Twitter homepage taken last night at a screenshot. It has my full name, it has my handle, which is @which. It has a disclaimer that says, tweets are mine and retweets are not endorsements. So if you are a healthcare provider, you might want to put something like that. I have 2,237 followers only. My profile has the hashtags I follow. So for example, mHealth for mobile health, health informatics, SoMe means social media for health promotion, HTLDR, HealthXPh, and POMED, which is free and open access medical education. Okay? If someone were to tell me I would only be able to have one social media platform or network, I would choose Twitter anytime over Facebook. So what is Twitter? Twitter is a microblogging platform, and tweeting is broadcasting short burst messages to the world with the hope that these messages are useful and interesting to someone. So I don't tweet about what I eat for lunch. Conversely, Twitter is about discovering interesting people online and following their burst messages for as long as they are interesting. If you don't like them anymore, you just unfollow. So the 140-character limit promotes focused and clever use of language, which makes tweets easy to scan but challenging to write. You should try that. So Twitter is less about social friendships as compared to Facebook. Twitter allows people instead to follow important topics, people, and conversations that are relevant or interesting to them. It is more detached because there is no reciprocal agreement between the follower and the followed. So for example, you can follow me, but I don't have to follow you. So how many people does one follow in order to get an interesting Twitter feed? And according to the experts, you must have at least followed 200 people. Okay? So most of the people are encouraged to go on Twitter, they give up after a while. Why? Because they're only following 2 people or 3 people. If those 2 or 3 people don't tweet anything interesting, there is nothing to see. Okay? So do you know that there's already a formal classification for tweets? So if there's anybody here in the audience looking into research, social media and healthcare research is on the rise. Please join us. So the main categories for tweets in the classification would be news, static, spam, status, conversational, and pass along. So last night, I looked at my Twitter feed and saw that. So that is a news, tweet. So it's from GMA News. It leads link to the blog post about that. It can be an event like this, also being announced, or it could be a weather update. Okay? Now, let me show you what happened to me yesterday, which was pretty interesting. So I also blog, so I have what is called user-generated content. So I wrote a blog post way back in February about the HealthXPh manifesto for social media and medical professionalism. So I was saying in my tweet, HCPs should behave online same as offline. And I showed a link to our manifesto. So I've been repeating that periodically. I last repeated it April 7. What happened was last Saturday during our tweet chat, Gia, my co-founder, also tweeted the link again because we're encouraging people to sign up. And it was picked up by Sean. And Sean was attending a conference yesterday. And he was listening to someone talk about having a social media policy for healthcare professionals. So he tagged the speaker of the conference, Dr. Foreman and Ed Bennett, and told them, in the Philippines, there is already a social media manifesto, and that's this tweet. Okay? So apparently, there is a conference going on yesterday and today, that's hashtag NatCon15, which is the National Council for Behavioral Health. And so they were talking about that, and suddenly in the feed, Alicia, whom I didn't know, said hi, waving to us, okay? And so I said, okay, waving back, and I looked at her profile, and I found out that she's interested in healthcare communication, social media, leadership, behavioral health. So I decided to follow her, and she followed me back, okay? I looked at who Dr. April Foreman was. She's a licensed psychologist. I looked at who Ed Bennett was, who said he is a technology grader. And so I started following them as well. And so now I have 2 people in my team. So hashtags are now used for conferences, which is why I asked last 1990 if we could have a hashtag for this again, which is hashtag CPM15. So for example, for NatCon15, they are registered on Simpler, just as we are, and they have the link. So if you want a live stream link, the schedule of the day, or presenter handouts, that's where you need to go. So that goes all over Twitter, and that has a global audience. So if you click on the link, you will see this, the NatCon conference. So in essence, what is a hashtag? So a hashtag is used to mark keywords or topics in a tweet. It was created organically by Twitter users as a way to categorize messages so that you can find interesting topics for you. So it was the 2012 word of the year. And somebody took it to the extreme and called her baby hashtag. Okay? Anyway, I am here today and ang hashtag ko, Dr. Ellen Marcelo, is para sa bayan. Okay, so if you want to tweet for today's conference, it's CPM 50. Now, Pauline said I will talk about a tweet chat. So what is a tweet chat? So a tweet chat is a pre-arranged chat to tweets that include a predefined hashtag to link those tweets together in a virtual conversation. So HealthXPh started off because I attended several tweet chats by HTLDR. So HTLDR stands for Healthcare Leaders. So it is a once-a-week weekly chat, and it's Wednesday at 9:30 in the morning for the Philippines, but it's actually 9:30 at night in the West. So they have a blog post, such as this, that tells the people what we're going to talk about for this particular tweet chat. So for example, the example here is, the topic is healing places, okay? And they have a guest, Dr. E. Sternberg. And then, when it's already 9:30 in the morning here in Manila, I log on to Twitter and look for the questions. So for example, you say here, you have 3 questions, P1, P2, P3, so they label it like that. And then Isip is the moderator of the chat, and she just goes, okay, let's start off with P1. Do you believe our environment directly impacts the health of our body and mind? And then anyone on Twitter can join. Just use the hashtag and others will be able to see what we tweet. So for example, Rahul said, environment affects both patient and provider, etc. And then somebody from Yale Innovation will say another thing, answering P1. Some people will even include a URL, okay? So to support what they are saying. So green environments are better for patient and staff, and then here is a blog post that supports that. So that is what a tweet chat is. And when I say that we have HealthXPh, we're on every Saturday, 9 p.m. Okay, so if you're on Twitter, just follow HealthXPh. Now, what is the healthcare hashtag project? Okay, so every day, there are 500 million tweets. Grabe, di ba? So there are 200 million active users. So if you are a healthcare provider or somebody interested in health, how do you know who to follow? Should we follow Ann Curtis or Chris Aquino? Who should we follow? So the goal of the healthcare hashtag project is to make the use of Twitter more accessible for providers and the healthcare community as a whole. By lowering the learning curve of Twitter with a database of relevant hashtags to follow, we hope to help new and existing users alike to find the conversations that are of interest and importance. And that is the goal of the Healthcare Hashtag Project, and you can find it on www.simpler.com. So what happens? If you go there to simpler.com, you can search by hashtag or healthcare subject matter. So for example, if you were to search for cancer, it will give you the trending hashtags for all the things related to cancer. For example, hashtag GYNCSM is actually gynecologic cancers. Okay? LCSM is lung cancer, social media. So you will find there in one space both patients and healthcare providers talking about lung cancer. So for example, for endocrine, there's a lot already. So gestational diabetes, gout, diabetes, etc. And if you click on that, you will be able to see who are tweeting about these things, and you can follow these people. So they also have it organized by system already. So cardiovascular, digestive, endocrine, excretory, they have those hashtags. Now, I have tried to generate interest in using conference hashtags for the Philippines. So this is PCP14, that was for the Philippine College of Physicians last year. So this year is going to be PCP15. Okay, it will have a description of what the conference is about, and then you can also see there who are the people tweeting and what they were tweeting about. Okay, for the Asia-Oceania Congress of Endocrinology, it was AOC 14. When we held it last time. Okay? So when you go to Simpler and you click on that hashtag, what will it show? It will demonstrate the frequency of use of the related hashtag, so you know which one is the better hashtag to follow. So if you're interested in medical education, there are several. So you can see whether MedEd is a good hashtag to follow. Now you will see who are the people tweeting in hashtag HTLDR, for example, and you will see their pictures there, and you can start following them as well. Now, it can also be ranked according to the popularity, and HealthXPh in this particular screenshot was top 14 in the world at one point. So sometimes it goes, I think the highest we've got is like 2 or 3 on a Saturday. So it will provide a live feed of conversations related to each hashtag, so you can explore what's currently being shared on Twitter on your healthcare topic of choice. Okay, so that's available on Simpler. So I invite you to, for example, explore CPM15 after the conference is finished, or HealthXPh, so you can see what was the messages that can be found there. Okay, so about HealthXPh. So I wrote a blog post then about a series of fortunate events and how it began. So the story is I wanted to attend Doctors 2.0 in Paris, which is the social media healthcare conference of Europe. And Dr. Rima Aguilar saw it on my Facebook feed and said, why do you have to go to Paris? Let's just start one of our own. Okay? So we met each other online on Twitter, and then we formed HealthXPh together with Dr. Gia Tison and Dr. Tapia. So we started off by defining what is HealthXPh, and in this blog post by Remo, he says that HealthXPh is a collaborative effort of healthcare stakeholders, meaning healthcare professionals, institutions, academics, patients, and policymakers. As a tweet chat, it will discuss, use, and continually push the boundaries of social media and other emerging technologies in healthcare to impact the Philippine healthcare landscape. It encourages collaboration and application of emerging technologies to improve the delivery of healthcare. So it is open and free, so that's why we just, invite everyone to stop by every Saturday night. It aims to educate all healthcare stakeholders. Now, we know that social media is very big in the Philippines. Social media, capital of the world, na ang tawag sa Philippines after all. So it's going to impact Philippine healthcare, and we want to make it a positive one. So social media and other emerging technologies making it easier for patients to access their healthcare professionals, institutions, and policymakers, and it will give insights on how to effectively manage this upsurge. So social media also opens new possibilities to participatory medicine practice in the Philippines, because now we are opening up the doors, because on Twitter, anyone can speak with anyone. So HealthXPh is taking advantage of that. So HealthXPh has a web page, has a Facebook page, so that we can know what are our scheduled topics. We used to hold Google Hangouts on air, but we stopped doing that. We try to measure our metrics. So there is a metric for Twitter called impressions. So impressions is a simple formula. It is the number of tweets per participant times the number of followers that each participant currently has, and you add all that up. Okay? So for example, our very first tweet chat was January 3, 2014, and it had only 13 participants and 84 tweets. But we generated 263,393 impressions. Now, this is the tweet chat we just had last Saturday. So last Saturday, our topic was patient peer mentoring. Has anyone heard about patient peer mentoring? We do have support groups. But for patient peer mentoring, it's a one-on-one. For example, a patient who has gone through thyroid cancer can mentor someone who has been newly diagnosed with thyroid cancer. So that's the concept. And we had 3 questions for that 1 hour of Saturday from 9 to 10. So as a patient, you need a peer mentor and why. If you're a healthcare provider, what do you think about patient peer mentoring, P2 and P3. So those were the 3 questions. And how much impressions did we generate? We generated 7 million impressions, and we already had 42 participants and 549 tweets in 1 hour. Okay, so that's 60 minutes of tweets. So if you look at the HealthXPh Silver stats, because we are registered in Silver, I can give you the data from a specific time point to the next. So for January 1, 2014 to February 2015, we already had 327 million. Okay? And you have the list there of who are the top 10 by mentions, top 10 by tweets, and top 10 by impressions. So here's a screenshot of some of the participants that we have that's also available. This is our tweet activity. So there are dips and there are, rises, but we're getting there. If you look at the month activity, it will look like this because we're only on every Saturday. Okay? So if we become more recognized, as we have seen in other tweet chats, people keep tagging us, there will be more tweets in between Saturdays. Okay? Now, there's already been some research about enabling community through social media. So that is why everywhere I go, I call myself a Twitter evangelist because I'm encouraging healthcare providers to join Twitter. Okay? Because there is a community to be had there. And there's a social network measure to locate influential individuals, like total number of tweets, total number of times you were replied to, and total number of times a person mentions or replies to others. So that is possible to actually analyze, okay? And a paper on that has come out, for example, for hashtag HealthXPh or Canada. Okay, I have here some of the topics we had with the then we already should be hold tweet chats on whenever I go. Tell me it's going to cost so much. And I go like, Mark, I can't go. Your seminar is too expensive. And he goes, no, you go to another one, this one. So I went to Ateneo and I was able to meet him. So now he runs our HealthXPh social network analysis every month for free. Okay? And he gives us beautiful maps, such as this, which I'm still learning how to interpret. Okay? But basically, those slides is the exchange of information between people. Okay, and it already has a 3D rendering. You can look at it 3D, and then you can come up with research about that. Okay, so the first tangible thing that we did offline, okay, as a group in HealthXPh is to hold the first Philippine Healthcare Social Media Summit. Just 4 of us, with help from the Department of Science and Technology, DCHRD, who reached out to us because they kept hearing about this tweet chat, HealthXPh. So our hashtag for that event was HealthXPh. We were worried that nobody would come. In the beginning, without the support from TOSP, we only wanted to do it in a school, in an auditorium such as this, and we were hoping for 100 attendees. But in the end, we had to hold it in the Radisson Blue, and 450 people attended. Okay? So there's interest out there. What we launched at that meeting is the HealthXPh Manifesto. And it is accessible through that link. And if it's something that resonates with you, please sign. So basically, there are 5 statements there about medical professionalism and social media. So, for example, it says, I am a healthcare provider and I will conduct myself in a manner worthy of my profession, even online. I will not use online platforms to rant or bash patients and healthcare professionals. Number 2, first, do no harm. Recognizing this and the trust that comes with my profession, I will ensure that the information I post, like, or share is accurate. Number 3, whatever I post online in relation to my clinical expertise should be of benefit to my countrymen. I'll prioritize the promotion and advancement of health rather than of medical products. I will not practice plagiarism. I will refrain from posting information online that will compromise patient confidentiality and privacy. I will value the patient's dignity and privacy by not taking selfies, groupies, or videos during encounters with patients that include patients' body parts, surgical specimens, or that show patients in the background without their consent. Okay, so at that historic meeting, we were able to get the President of the Philippine Medical Association and the President of the Philippine College of Physicians to actually sign our manifesto. And we're going to try to do a road show to get more people to be aware of it and to sign up. So, I started with that series of fortunate events wherein I wanted to go to Paris. Well, I am going to Paris at Doctors 2.0 because of the impressions that HealthXPh has generated. I have been invited to give a talk on the medical practice in the digital era, physician's perspective from the Philippines. So I'm very happy to go. Okay? And lately, because of the work that we've been trying to do in social network analysis, I entered the Medicine Exemplary Research Challenge contest. So wherein I had to propose a research topic that uses Twitter. Okay? And I'm one of the finalists in the category, How is Social Media Transforming Healthcare in 2015? So I really like to encourage everybody to try doing research in this field. So that's the end of my presentation, and I really just like to end by inviting everyone to our tweet chat, which is Saturdays, 9 p.m. Manila time. We have to do say that because we have participants coming from Canada and Australia and the US, so we have to always say 9 p.m. Manila time. I hope to see you on Saturday. Thank you.